Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the weekly show with Aditya, India's number one podcast, with India's number one host, Aditya, in association with Dusra.net, the number one website in sports, education, and entertainment. Final T20 between India and New Zealand, both for the men and women, did not go exactly according to plan as both lost the match by a very narrow margin. While the women were chasing a total of 160, the men were chasing in excess of 200. India, not learning from the first match, decided to bowl again. They switched Kuldeep in place of Chahal and he was the only one who gave less than 7 runs per over. Whereas on the other hand, each and every bowler went for over 10 runs per over, and it was Colin Munro from the New Zealand camp who did what he does so often, scoring 72 runs of 40 balls and making sure that once again New Zealand had an opening partnership in excess of 50. They added 80 runs in 7.5 overs. The platform was set, and all the rest of the batters had to do was continue this momentum, and New Zealand ended up making around 210. But India made two vital errors in this match. I would rather say blunders. Error number one, they continued with Dhawan. We all know that Dhawan is a talented player, but he has not impressed in this series, and he put pressure on Rohit Sharma by getting out early, which forced Rohit to curb his natural hitting instincts and instead fall back to score 38 of 32. And if we were to look back and see that why we lost the match, well, Rohit Sharma curbing his natural instincts and slowing down did have an effect on the match. Had he continued and scored those extra 10 runs, we would have won this match. But thanks to Hardik Pandya, Kunal Pandya, even Dinesh Karthik, and especially to another all-rounder in Vijay Shankar and our future in Rishabh Pant, who, seeing Rohit Sharma struggle, continue to score from the other end, and that is why we were so close in the match. At one point of time, at 145 for 6, with India needing more than 12 runs per over, one felt that the match was gone, but no. Karthik and Kunal Pandya had other ideas, and then Karthik made another mistake. We were needing 14 of 5 balls and he refused to take a single. Knowing that Kunal Pandya could have hit, but he decided to do what Dhoni does so often. Refused the single, but he could not hit. India ended up by losing by a margin of only 4 runs. The second blunder, and the most obvious blunder, the decision to bowl first, was more out of ego than out of strategy. Knowing that the bowlers, if we bat first, may not be able to defend a total of 200, the team management thought that let us bowl first and then chase. Yes, you have the ability to chase, but there is a difference when you are chasing 160 and there is a difference when you are chasing 200 plus. Knowing that Shikhar Dhawan is going to be a liability when you are chasing, and he has flopped in all the 3 matches in this series and the previous 3 one-day matches. So batting first would have been the more strategic option. You could have batted first, you could have made between 200 and 215 and then seen if your bowlers have the ability to defend that total. And yes, seeing what New Zealand did, India would have defended this total despite New Zealand having the likes of Colin Munro or Colin the Grandhomme or many other batsmen. But now this series is over, it's done, it's in the past. Now we have to focus on the 7 matches against Australia, knowing that Virat Kohli and Jasprit Bumrah return, who are going to be the casualties? I suppose the first one is going to be Vijay Shankar. Most likely, Vijay Shankar will be the casualty in place of Virat Kohli, and in place of Bumrah, one might see Khalil Ahmed benched. They are the obvious replacements. Yet, for me, I would still want them to tell Dhawan that you take a break. So let's give you a break for a couple of matches. Let's open with Kohli and Rohit. Kohli has opened in the T20 version. In fact, let's open with Virat Kohli even in the World Cup. Let's try this strategy for a couple of matches. Since these 5 matches are like practice matches, so let's experiment as much as we can. The women's match was a little more disappointing because this was the second time they failed to chase 160. In fact, the women's team lost the series 3-0. In the first match, they were chasing well. They were 100 for 1 in 11 overs. They needed 6 runs per over, but they faltered. In the second match, the batting faltered again. They made only 140. In the third match, once again, it was the deja vu of the first match when they were once again in a good position, and here they did not collapse. But pressure got to the middle and lower order, and after Smriti Mandhana was dismissed, the rest of the batsmen could not cope up despite having a lot of experience in Harmanpreet Kaur and Mithali Raj. It was going to be a factor. If the women's team made over 160, then the men's version would obviously go between 180 and 200. And the fact is that only Jemimah Rodriguez and Mandhana scored those runs, while the rest of them could not even score more than 20. So this is what the women's team needs to look at. If these two flop, then the women's team will be in trouble. But the way Mandhana scores, it's almost as if she is the left-handed version of Rohit Sharma. Kunal Pandya, Jadeja and Kedar Jadhav are my spinning all-rounders for the World Cup team. They may not play together, but they will be an essential part of the team. The fast bowling all-rounders include Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Hardik Pandya and Vijay Shankar. While we already have 3 potent wicket keepers. In the opening slot, I would slot Rahane instead of Dhawan and even keep Shubman Gill and KL Rahul as a backup. Dhawan should be given an ultimatum. If he does not score in these 7 matches, then he should be told that your ticket to World Cup may not happen. Out of 10 editions in the World Cup so far, only 4 have been memorable for India. 1983 when we won the World Cup, 2003 when we went to the final of the World Cup, 2011 when we won the World Cup again, and 2015 when we went to the semi-final of the World Cup. Prior to the World Cup, we have the Indian T20 League, and let's hope that sanity reigns when the selectors decide that those who are important part of the World Cup should not play too many matches of the T20 League, because if anyone gets injured, then the plans are derailed. So it means that Bumrah, Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Bhuvneshwar, Mohammad Shami, Dhoni, Pant, Vijay Shankar and the rest who are going to be in the World Cup team should play as less as possible, and there should be no exertion on them. And even if those domestic team management and the coaches are not in agreement, they should be firmly told that the World Cup exceeds any T20 league. Cancelling the T20 league is also another option, and that should be looked at. The Hockey World Cup did not go as planned, neither did the Asian Cup. So let's hope that the 2019 Cricket World Cup and the 2020 Olympics, with trophies and medals galore change the face of Indian sports. Thank you for listening to this episode. Please like and subscribe to my Facebook page and YouTube channel and stay tuned for the next episode.